What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa. So, hey, I have a guest here I think that you're going to find very interesting. One who actually had left the UK, coming back over to the motherland. She's been back and forth, but she has her family who actually is one, her father from Nigeria, and her mother from the UK. So we have a mixed race guest here who's going to share her experience in UK and how she was received, and is when she goes to the motherland, and she's living currently right now there in the motherland in Zanzibar to be exact, to share exactly what her life is like now. So without further ado, let me bring in our guest, Laura.
Hey,
Who
how you doing?
you actually now, Laura, you have the Tribe Bungalows Zanzibar project that you're doing.
That's right, yeah. So we are about to launch in a few weeks' time. We should have launched in December, but there were a few setbacks, but nothing that we couldn't handle. And yeah, we are literally a few weeks away from our big launch party and opening. So yeah, really happy.
Okay, we'll get into that here a little later.
Yeah.
But you are actually, if I have to think now, all the interviews I did, that you're my first biracial
Wow. Okay.
interviewee that I am doing. And I find it interesting because, I was looking for someone who's from the UK
Hmm.
and someone who can kind of share and give us an idea of why is it that there are many people from the UK, from Europe, who are moving back to the motherland.
Hmm.
And we hear the stories just like over in America that, racism and the issues of what, inequalities and all these things that, that we fight against and are trying to overcome.
Hmm.
Please share your experience and give a background now because, you said that you are biracial.
Yeah.
Please share that a little bit and then give us a little, let's step into the UK and how you was received there.
Yeah, I mean, my mum is English from a coastal town called Hastings. So if you know the Battle of '66, you'll know that place. And my dad's Nigerian, so I grew up really quite a lot without my parents because they had divorced and they had both gone their separate ways. So I grew up in a I'm 52 years old, so I grew up in a UK, which is very similar to the UK now. I thought we had got past all the racism and all the being called names and whatever, but it for me it feels like it's kind of gone a bit full circle.
Mm.
Um, yeah, like really. So when I grew up, I was called all sorts of names. My hair was like I had a big afro that hadn't been combed for probably months. So I always kind of felt like when I was with my London family, I was happy. When I was with my family outside of London, I didn't fit in. So it was just a really kind of confusing time until I actually went to Africa. So my first trip to Africa, I was 10 years old with my dad. And that changed my life completely because for the first time, I actually felt like I knew where I was from and where I fit in. So yeah, it was a life-changing experience.
Now, your dad is from Nigeria, so you first visit was to Nigeria.
Yes, yeah. My first visit to Africa was Nigeria a long, long time ago, and it was just a magical place for me. Like I said, I kind of grew up without really, living with either parent, kind of backwards and forwards and aunties and wherever. So it was just so nice to kind of get to Nigeria and people were receiving me, as my dad's firstborn, and like, it was like a big deal. They had a huge party for me. It was great, and I felt like I was like, okay, this is where I come from. So yeah, big deal.
Wow, wow. Now, you scratched the surface on how you thought that the UK would probably change its feathers in the
Yeah,
treatment of us black folks
yeah,
and us Africans, if you will.
yeah.
Please share with us. I mean, what goes on in the UK? I mean, and where are the people when it comes to the stand and the movement
Yeah.
of this racism that we all deal with throughout this world?
I think to understand like how racism works in the UK, like you've got to listen to people like Gina Yashere, like, you know, the comedian, because she talks about, you know, the Brits are really good at doing subtle racism, and they've been doing that for a long time, you know. So, and although it's not like it's not a joke, but she kind of touches on the way that, you know, in America it's all very like in your face and it's all very blatant, where in somewhere like the UK it's a little bit more subtle, and, you know, people say, oh, but, you know, not just you, or not, you're all right, you're not like the others, and, you know, you kind of grow up in this way, and people just kind of say little things that, you know, there's no such thing as light racism, but you know what I mean, like it's
Yeah.
just more subtle, and I think that's how they've been getting away with it for so long. But for me, I just feel like it's been something that's always been there and bubbling, and then, you know, people, certain movements in the UK have given racists a voice. So now they're all coming out of the woodwork. Now everybody's got an opinion. Now everybody's just like, you know, whatever. But it's always been there, you know, like, you know, I grew up in London where, you know, it's like a Cockney, you know, it's very Cockney, and it's very kind of, you know, do you know what I mean? And whatever. And like I said, it's so subtle, but it's always been there, you know.
Mhm.
So I think like that's why they've been able to get away with it for so long. But now it's a little bit more in your face, you know.
And those pressures, did you live under those pressures to where you felt maybe less than yourself being young, or you felt as though that you were really out of place,
Yeah.
or you know that it was something that was within you that you knew that I need to go back over to Africa or what have you, because you visited at a young age and you knew it existed and how you
Yeah.
was received. Did the motherland continue to call you and from all this?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. Like I actually ended up going to school in Nigeria, Queen's College girl, you know. So yeah, I ended up going to
Mhm.
school in Lagos for a few years, and you know, I've been back with my children since. My children have been to school in Nigeria as well for a couple of years, and I just think it's this process, like, you know, strangely though, you know, I'm an island girl, and I really lived in, you know, the Canary Islands in Spain, which is technically Africa. Um, I lived in Ibiza. I lived in Bali for a while. I lived in the Cook Islands, but I never felt home there. And I always felt like something was missing, and it was our people, you know, and that was the bottom line. So when I came to Zanzibar, which is where I am now, I felt at home, and it took a while to get here, but I was just like, this is it. Why didn't I do this 20 years ago? Why didn't I
Yeah.
do this 30 years ago? You know, I feel like I've missed out, but I'm here now. So, and that's what matters. But yes, there is definitely, all my life there's been a calling to come
Mhm.
back to Africa and live here. Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to let UK off the hook lightly, easy, because I'm going to stay on here for a minute, because I know people like Blacksit, who's got the YouTube channel, who's over in the Gambia.
Yeah.
Juliet,
Yeah.
um, and her beautiful family, and her husband and her son. They have a horrific story. It even hit the news on how that over in the UK that they put, this racist word on the back of her son's jacket, and
Wow.
how they had to deal with, you know, um, the in the workplace, these discriminatory habits that they have. And she painted a picture that was not foreign to my ear, because
Mm.
I say, that, racism, no matter where you go, I mean, especially if it's coming and stemming from, these people who think they're superior than others, the treatment's going to be basically the same,
Mm.
and how she painted it, as far as their experience, a lot of people started coming forward and sharing their stories that I heard of in that region. Now, did you ever experience anything traumatic like that? I mean, as a child or in your adulthood when it comes to work and stuff like that?
Like I said, for me personally, my personal experience is that it's been more subtle. However, when I was growing up, you know, I was called gollywog, I was called, you know, boo boo, because of my dad was African, you know, like all these kind of words that you kind of just get used to. But, you know, I have 2 black children and 5 black grandchildren, you know, so I've seen it more with them, like more recent than when I was growing up, you know. So, you know, yes, there are incidents. You know, I remember when my daughter was at school, and there was a kid at school, they had the same jackets, and I literally had bought my daughter's jacket like the night before, like the day before she went to school with the new jacket. And anyway, this child had, you know, they'd accidentally swapped jackets, and, you know, so I went back to the school and was like, look, this is my jacket. And the woman was saying, that's not my daughter's jacket. You can see, look, it's got all black rubbed off on the collar, you know. And yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the kind of thing you have to deal with. You know, they had to, you know, keep me off of her basically. But yeah, but yeah, there are those sort of things, and there are lots, and there are stories, you know. I mean, I've been called a monkey on the tube, you know, because, you know, just someone on the tube. So the tube is like the metro in London.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a guy, it was just a young girl, and he was just harassing her, and you know, she was a white girl, it didn't matter, right? So he was just harassing this young girl on the tube, and I was just saying, look, just leave her alone, she doesn't want to talk to you. And he was like, fuck, sorry, he was like, you know, F off, you monkey, like, look at you, look at your hair and whatever. You know, I've just learned, look, you either get violent or you just have to let it go sometimes. But yeah, there's multiple stories of racism in the UK, you know. So basically, yes, I've experienced it, but sometimes more subtle, sometimes a lot more, since the whole kind of Brexit thing happened and people were getting this voice, a lot more in your face as of recent. Yeah.
You know what I enjoyed? One thing that I saw, rather, and I hate to say the word enjoy because that's not the right word, but George Floyd caused us as a people to rise up across the globe. 100%. And I saw UK was affected too, very heavily in the support of George Floyd. Of course, we all know who was murdered by a white police officer here in America. And what effect did that have there in the UK? What did you see? Were there any changes from it? You know, because, you know, this Black Lives Matter, you know, movement and stuff. Did that create any change or anything, or?
Well, simply the answer is no.
Or brought any awareness.
It didn't change anything, but, you know, we witnessed it all. And there was like the Black Lives Matter movement was happening a few years before that. So there was a few of us like really just vocal on social media and expressing our, you know, how we felt about it. And also, you know, when Trump got in his presidency, how horrified we were and how we saw what was going on. Because a lot of us in the UK, we relate to America, you know, because this was the first TV we watched, you know, this was the first shows that we watched. The music we love comes from there. So, you know, we're very much heavily influenced by the US as well as Africa or the Caribbean or wherever you are from, you know. And so, you know, there was a whole movement. You know, I lost like maybe 50 friends over that whole period because the stuff that they were saying, I just couldn't agree with. And these were people that I'd known for 10 years, you know, longer, who I thought that I knew. But some of the stuff that was coming out of people's mouths over this time, you know, I just thought, I just can't, like, I cannot deal with these people. Like, and I know people say, you know, you shouldn't shut people down because they have other opinions. But, you know, this was just too much. I was like, no, I do not want to speak to these people. I don't want to educate these people. You know, I tried to say, you know, have this conversation, and they were adamant with their racism, and it was like, no, I just can't. So, you know, it was a huge thing for us. I can only speak for myself, but it was a huge thing for me in the UK with my, you know, my whole family, my friend circle. You know, it was horrific for us. It was like a succession of events. Like, what, you know, this cannot continue. So, but you know, people did, you know, there were Black Lives Matter like walks here, like, you know, protests, not in the same scale. But then, you know, something ridiculous happened. Like they had football hooligans. They allowed football hooligans to come down from, you know, all the different you know, regions. Football teams. So if you know the UK, you know it's heavily influenced by football and therefore hooliganism, which is a whole new another debate, right? But they allowed them to come down and stop them from marching, and it was, I mean, it was just a farce. You would have to go and Google that to have a look at that. Like,
Wow.
so there were marches. People were blaming us for spreading COVID because we were marching. There was, all sorts of things that, if you know the history of the UK as well, you'll know a lot of the slavery masters were here, and there's all the statues all around Bristol and up north, so they were toppling down all the statues. But here, of course, it's all very British, so it was like, oh, the horror, like, why would they do that? We don't need to, it's just one of the reasons I had to get out. I had to get away from the UK, basically.
And so you lived there in the UK how long?
Well, actually, in the last 20 years, I've been in and out of the UK. So I first left the UK in 2001. And so I lived in Barcelona for like 7 years. I went back. I lived in the Canary Islands first, went back, lived in Barcelona, went back, lived in Bali, so over the last few years I haven't been there long, but I have my family there. So for me it's always about, I miss my family, I go back, I travel back, I see them, let me try and work stuff out, like it hasn't been, I've been in the UK with absolutely nothing, because when you leave, you come back, you have to start again. So I've been doing this for a while, but yeah, so this last stint I was in the UK for three years, and I was like, I had to get away.
And you chose to come back to the motherland, Africa.
Yes.
That you said that you've never been received with much respect, but from unlike the other places that you lived, Barcelona, Canary Islands, the UK.
Well, don't get me wrong, I have met amazing people in all of those places.
Yeah.
And I've always been able to carve out friendships and mingle with my people everywhere I go. And I've always been able to do that. But something's always kind of missing, and you don't know what it is. Like, I know I want to live on an island. I know I want to live somewhere tropical. I know I want to, to be honest, it took a while for me to realize it's going to be somewhere in Africa, because as a Nigerian, I'd been to Nigeria, but I hadn't really explored anywhere else. So I knew that I wanted to explore more, but I had kind of just been doing like West Africa and not even considered East Africa. Lots of friends had said, you've got to go to East Africa, you'll love it. You've got to go to Zanzibar, you've got to go to Tanzania, Kenya, you've got to do all these things. So I was exploring, Ghana. I was going to move to Ghana. I was exploring Zambia, Kenya, even South Africa, so I was just looking into all these places, Senegal, some of the smaller islands. So yeah, I was just really looking into going back to somewhere that I could live, and I just ended up in magical Zanzibar. I love it here.
Well, that's beautiful. I mean, so how does that work when it comes to, because you said you got 5 beautiful children?
Yeah.
Do they come visit? Are they scattered around, or are they in?
No, they're all in London, and they will visit, like, it's been a journey for me since I've been here, like, I don't recommend anybody just turning up to anywhere without knowing, but I did do a lot of online due diligence, and, I kind of kept back from my family a lot of the stuff, like when I was sending money to pay for my first place that I was renting. I had to send money to Africa to people who I'd been speaking to online and on the phone who I didn't really know. So I didn't tell them that I was doing that, because they would have thought I was crazy, and it was crazy. But, I knew it was right, and I knew that, it was a good thing that I was doing, so it was a risk, but I'm glad I'd done it, and yes, the grandchildren will come and visit. This whole journey is for them at the end of the day, the whole setting up the tribe bungalows is for them. I've been trying to, woo my daughter away and my son away from the UK for a while, but it's never been the right place. But this appeals to them, because when I show them the pictures and I show them the projects that I'm doing, they're just like, wow, we can live here. Like, we can afford to build a business. We can afford to build a house. We can't do that in the UK. It's in London. It's just ridiculous, so I'm sure you can do that in many other places around the world as well, but everything is attainable here right now. That will change in the next few years. It will be out of our reach because it's growing rapidly already. But, you know, I feel like this is the last paradise on earth that I can, you know, create something here, and I'm doing it. So, yeah.
That's great. And I tell you, you know, you said something very, very profound, and that is that, you know, you're doing this all for your kids. You're doing it all for
100%.
them. You are
100%.
you are being the bridge so that your children can cross over to this
Yeah.
land of freedom
Yeah.
beyond than what they know, and can possibly experience a life
Yeah.
way greater and grand than what they're experiencing now over in the West.
Yeah, and they can, you know, to buy, you know, my daughter has 3 children, so for her to buy a 4-bedroom house in London minimum, it's going to cost her maybe, you know, let's just, in a really bad area that needs renovation and blah blah blah, it could cost anything from, you know, £700,000 upwards. You know, so if you bring that sort of money to somewhere like here, or even say I wanted to, for me to go back to buy a 1-bedroom flat in London is going to cost me £500,000. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, to
And
think that,
that's about almost 600,000 US dollars.
yeah, I mean that, you know, you bring that type of money here, I mean, it's a no-brainer, you know, like you can have land, you can build a business, you can fly to the rest of Africa for the rest of your life. You know, it's like, you know, it's, I can't, like I said, for me, my only regret is I didn't do this 20 years ago, but
Yeah.
I'm here now. So that's what matters. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned your age, so I'll repeat what you said because
Yeah.
I'm asking you. But you said you're
Oh, I
52
said
years
that.
old. You're
Okay.
52 years old.
Yes.
You're single there by yourself. Went on the journey by yourself. Are you
I
married?
took the journey by myself.
Okay.
I'm not single at the moment, but you know, I
That's a
took the
good thing.
journey. Yeah, exactly, right. So I took the journey by myself. Like I said, it was a huge thing, but I'd done a lot of due diligence before, and that would be my advice to everyone. Just, you know, even if you've never been somewhere before, just if you're going to do that, you know, you really need to try and find out as much as you can, especially the first place that you're going, and try to find some kind of allegiance there. I mean, I moved into a place called Fumba Town. So for me, that was a gated community. The people that are there are, you know, my family right now, you know, like they are, there's a real power support network there. And it's a great place to move in if you're, you know, if you're coming to Zanzibar, for example. So try and find those kind of communities before you come, so that you can kind of slot in, you know, even
Yeah.
if that's not what you want forever. You know, it's a really great place to start. So I had done all that, and you know, and I was excited. I was like, you know, if, you know, I kind of, you know, I packed up everything, sold stuff, and left, you know, and I just thought, well, you know, I'm doing this. It didn't feel wrong. Like, I'm a very follow my gut person, and it just didn't feel wrong. Everything about it just felt right. And I just don't think I could have made another winter in the UK, locked up and locked in. And I was very depressed, and getting to a point where I was like, you know, I had anxiety, and you know, I
Well,
was
you
getting
know,
ill, my joints were hurting, like everything about being back in the UK that makes us sick is there, you know. It started to build after 3 years, and I was like, I just can't do this, you know.
it's interesting you say that because, I've been over there in the UK and all, and I need my son. I'm sorry, the
Yeah,
sun.
yeah,
We are sun people.
yeah.
And I try to tell people that it has a psychological effect on you when you have the lack of the vitamin D because of the sun,
Yeah.
and we begin to tend to act like the West. But anyway,
Yeah.
but you
But
say
it's
that.
true. But it's true. You know, like I had patches all over my face because I had no vitamin D. I was literally locked up in my house working like 18-hour shifts from home, like crazy, like going crazy, literally. And since I've been here, it's like, you know, you're glowing again, you know, no aches, no pains, you know, it's great. Why wouldn't you want to do this?
That's beautiful. And so you've been there in Zanzibar for 6 months. And
Nearly, well, 7 actually now, nearly 8 actually.
okay. Now, why did you choose Zanzibar? You had never been before.
Yeah. Do you know, I feel like it was just some kind of spiritual guidance. It was like Zanzibar was somewhere that I always wanted to visit. having said that, I have two really good friends. So one from 10 years ago, his name's Pasco. He was like, this is when I used to live in Barcelona. He came back. I met him and I said, where have you been? He's like, I've just spent 6 months in Tanzania. You should go. You'll love it. You need to go to Zanzibar. And it was just something magical about the word Zanzibar. I was like, okay. And then another friend of mine, Julie, she's part of the Hot Chili Chicas, which is like a charity where they drive from South Africa all the way up to Kenya like every year and drop off like shoes and school things, school supplies to different schools along the way.
They drive up?
Yeah, they drive like it's a rally. It's like maybe 3 or 4 cars or even more.
I would like to be a part of that. You got to connect me with her.
Drive through the whole of Africa, giving out supplies and stuff. It's a great little thing. They're called the Red Hot Chili Chicas. Yeah. So she's been coming here for a while, and she's just always said to me, you have got to go to Zanzibar. You will love it, Tanzania. And so, I was just, I don't know. And then I had a friend that was living throughout the whole of lockdown. He was living in Zanzibar. So he was like posting all these pictures, and I was kind of talking to him and saying, what do you think and whatever. I think he's in Dar now. But yeah, so it was just a thing like, and then I started researching Zanzibar, and I found Fumba Town, so I started talking to the guys there. Big up Gabby from Fumba Town. So, I started talking to him there, and he was convincing me. I made him like walk around with the cameras to make sure it was real. And, and I thought, wow, this is like, you can't believe that this is real. There's a whole, you can buy like a 1-bedroom flat for like $40,000. Like, it was just amazing, so yeah, more.
But let me ask you this right here, because it's interesting. You chose Zanzibar, but your dad, he's Nigerian and he lives in Nigeria. Why not Nigeria?
Oh, I don't know. Like, honestly, I think Nigeria is an amazing country. I think it's got so much potential. There's a whole new wave of like this new Nigeria happening, like especially in all areas, not just our music and our creativities, but all areas. But it just wasn't. Maybe I was just fearful a little bit that if I went there, my life wouldn't be as free as it is here, for example. And I know I've never been here, but like I said, I've done my research. So, when I go to Nigeria, I feel like it's I don't want to say not as safe, because I don't want to paint Nigeria in a bad way, because I'm very proud of my Nigerian roots, and and it's a great place. But
Nigeria has 200 million people.
Yeah, and I just felt like it wasn't the first move for me, and that's not to say I'm not going to go there. Obviously, I've got family there that I need to visit, and of course I'm going to do all of that. But to start, I just wanted to come to Tanzania. Like I just wanted to come to Tanzania or Kenya, but Tanzania was an easier option, So yeah, it was, everything was leading here really, and I followed my gut.
What I find interesting is that most of the diaspora coming back to the motherland are settling in more the countryside. They want more of the peace. They don't want that hustle bustle city. I mean, we talk about Ghana and Accra, but most people are going to Elmina and Cape Coast, living out there away from the city.
Yeah.
They're living, and it's places outside of Accra. People they love in the Gambia, which is a small country.
Yeah.
These places that where I guess, getting the stress off of us and finding that peace and connecting back with nature again. So I get it. I mean,
and that's the beauty of Zanzibar, that's the pull. It has everything. So you have Stone Town, which is, busy and hectic. You've got the middle of the island, which is just lush green everywhere. And then you've got Paradise Beaches. I mean, yeah. It wasn't a hard decision. I think for me to go to Lagos would have just been, it's very hustle bustle and, having a driver, and is it safe to go out and all of that. I just wasn't ready for that yet,
And I want to say too that Nigeria's got a lot of land out there that you can find countryside and live in villages. So I'm not saying that Nigeria
Oh
doesn't have
God,
that.
no, not at all.
Yeah,
But my first move would have been Lagos for sure, you know. But
that's where your
there's
dad is in Lagos.
coastline in Nigeria that is as gorgeous as Zanzibar. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's just not tapped into yet, and
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Nigeria has so much potential. Like I'm so proud of the YouTubers out there that are giving Nigeria life. I mean, it's fantastic. It's really really good.
That's beautiful. Now, you know what's so interesting? Because, I've been there Zanzibar and I lived there in Dar es Salaam for 6 months. A lot of single women go to Tanzania.
Whoa, I wasn't really aware of that until I got here, and then you kind of see it here.
Yeah,
I was a single woman and I came to Tanzania, but I did not come here for a relationship. That was the last thing on my mind. That was not
yeah,
what I came here for. I came here to start a business. I came with a limited amount of money that would last a certain amount of time. And, I was adamant to set something up, which is what we have done. But I see it here more now, and yeah, I can't answer why. Like, I don't know what it is,
I don't
I
know
don't
either.
I don't know what it
Beautiful, beautiful. But I'm like, brothers, y'all gotta come to Tanzania. I mean, y'all women are beautiful. I'm like, why would you?
like this is where, yeah.
I'm
I
like,
don't know
hold
what's going
up.
on.
You ain't had nobody. You're not in a relationship.
Careful
But
what you wish for, because you will get it here. It's like this is the motherland, man. Like when you meditate and when you ask for stuff, you have to be real specific,
yeah.
because you can meditate your stuff here very, very easily. So you always have to be very careful what you want.
So, not to dig too deep in your personal life, but you got you an African king. You got your African brother.
Yes, and it
Okay.
didn't come without drama. So I want to stay as positive as possible. But my first experience here with somebody who actually wasn't from Tanzania and wasn't from Zanzibar wasn't a good experience. So it was, it's just one of those things. But I don't blame Africa. I don't blame Tanzania. I don't blame Zanzibar. Like there are options here. It's
Yeah.
like if that's what you came here for, you're going to be all right. But I didn't come for that, and I put that experience to bed, and it's gone. And
Mm.
I've met someone absolutely amazing, and I think sometimes you have to go through certain things to know what you don't want, and
Yeah.
then you get what you want. And at the moment I just could not be happier. So yeah, very very happy
Well,
lady.
I'm very happy for you because I believe that, we all should be connected to the opposite. And,
Yes.
it may take time to find that one. The interesting thing, I was having conversations because I'm visiting my daughter, and I was FaceTiming my other one. We were all three talking, and I told him, I said, hey, I'm still looking for your king in Africa,
Yeah.
because I'm like, I know there are some upright, decent young men, black men here in
Yeah.
America,
Yeah.
but there's far few in between. And the mentality is definitely plummeting. And I said, I'm going to find y'all's husband, believe me. And I got beautiful young ladies as daughters, and they're upright standing. They're not the what you would see where some are falling into this
Yeah.
culture of
Yeah.
this. I don't want to go
But
down
you've
that.
got to
Anyway,
understand, like, I feel like again you attract what you put out, you get back, right? So you attract what you put in. And
yeah,
I think, like, when I first came to Zanzibar, I was just a bit caught up, and it's like, oh my God, I'm here and whatever. And, a
yeah,
bit all over the place. You're still learning. So you attract that, and you attract that. So now kind of just being a little bit more settled, there are kings out here, if that's, but you've got to be open-minded, you've got to just, you're, I don't know. I can only speak for my own experience, but yes, there is this whole thing with people coming to find men here. It's a bit bizarre. Yeah, I find it a bit weird, but that's not what I done. So,
yeah. I mean, hey, to each
and
his
I
own. I
got what
mean,
I did. I wasn't even looking for it, and it came. So yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's hey, I believe in the saying, hey, you seek, you shall find, and so.
absolutely.
And my thing is that if that's what you want to do, I mean, hey, go for it, because I believe that sometimes when we break away from this where we've been brought up in our, and then we've been conditioned, and we've
Yeah,
been taught certain ways. But when you get out of, and I say Africa, because it's base, it's down to earth. It's, you can get back to some of these old belief systems when it comes to man, woman, child, when it
Yeah,
comes to, hey, a male and a female coming together and bringing the differences, you can build. I mean, you really
yeah,
can. But we're inundated with a lot of garbage in these Western countries where we fight against the difference and we separate and divorce from it, that it just, we can't get nowhere.
yeah. And plus, I think that we are fed that, everybody, not everybody, but Africa's poor, or that, you're going to be living a certain way, or, but, I mean, I'm living my best life here. It's like, I can't afford the lifestyle that I'm living here in the UK. It's never going to happen. So, and there's a lot of beautiful, sisters here as well. For men. Like there's, they're intelligent. They have businesses. There's all sorts of amazing communities here. You've just got to
Yeah.
tap into what it is that you want or what you came to do. And I think, yeah, I mean, I feel blessed. Like I said, I did not come here for that, and for me it's just a magical bonus, and yeah, it's great.
Awesome, awesome. The let me bring you back in, myself back in here. So, how are you received by the locals? Because we talked about, you leaving UK, coming to Zanzibar. How are the locals? I mean, are you adjusting? Speaking the language? Are you, they brought you in? Are you sister, mother, auntie? Mother.
Yeah, again, I think, like, for me, the local people here are very beautiful people. As a people, they're just very nice. There's no trouble, there's no drama. They don't want trouble. They're just nice people. So yes, you find people here, but it depends how. Like, if you live a life where you're just surrounded by expats and you don't mingle with locals, that's the life you're going to have. But
Yeah.
to be able to mingle, yes, you have to learn Kiswahili. So I'm slowly learning, and I know it's going to enrich my life. I know that once I have that down, I can open up to more. But English is spoken widely here as well. But I've been received fabulous. Like, I can't, apart from the one person who I had issues with, I've been received amazing here. And even like from the US, like diaspora, like there's many of them in Fumba Town and around, and we've had deep conversations, and I've never felt like I don't belong, or they understand. I understand their journey, they understand mine. There's lots of locals with businesses here, so yeah, the locals are fabulous. Like the locals, they have land everywhere. If you want to do business here, or you want to build a house, or you want to lease land, you have to deal with locals. So for me, it's been an amazing journey just doing this business, because I've learned so much about the local laws, the way that they do things, and this is imperative. Like, I feel like I could almost become a concierge service on what I've learned, because it is literally a minefield. Like anywhere, though, it's law and land and purchasing is a minefield everywhere. So, but it's a process, and yeah, I've met some incredible local people here from all scales, of things.
Okay. So you talked about business. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the business that you have started or is going to soon to launch.
Yeah,
Talk to
so
you about different ideas of how, what type of business. I always get that question. What type of business do they need, or what could I start, whatever. But you chose something a little different.
well, the thing is, yeah, I wanted originally to do, like, so people come here and it's about accommodation, and you want something on the beach, and you want to do the tourism thing, and I understood that, but I wanted to do a little bit more. So as someone who's lived around the world and worked online and been a digital nomad, like, I really wanted to tap into that, and like, you go to Asia, they have places everywhere where people can go and work and collaborate and do all these like business meetings and whatever. So there are a few now, actually, since I've been here, but when I first came, there weren't many. There was one or two, excuse me. So I just, I wanted to do something that represents me, and I'm all about collaboration and bringing people together, and let's work together, let's do this together, let's do that together. And I just wanted to do something which was accommodation, which we could do really nice, healthy food, you know, have drinks, have a pool, where we can do like some small events, but not necessarily music, but, you know, business related events, or, you know, empowerment. And then also like bring in like the somewhere where people can, you know, come and work. So that's what Tribe is, hence the name Tribe, because I'm trying to create this kind of tribe, you know, this one tribe, one vibe. So, you know, it's been a journey, it's been amazing, like it's so exciting. Like there's been setbacks, you know, like there is in business. You know, I think I was a little naive,
Yeah.
thinking that I could get it done in the time that I originally done it in, that I had set out, sorry. So I thought we could get a business up and running in 3 months. It's been 6 months now, but we're weeks away now from opening. And yeah, you know, yeah,
Can you see
this
my
is,
screen? Can you see my
yes,
screen
I
on your
can see it.
Facebook?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is
So
my dream. I have amazing. I have partners as well, and it's, you know, it's women led. You know, there's three of us are, you know, well, so it's women led. We do have one. We had to have one guy, but you know, the majority shareholders are Black women. You know, so we're very, very proud of that. And yeah, so here you can see, you know, all the things that we want to do. So yeah, we're getting it
nice.
together, and it's going to be open soon in a few weeks. So if anybody wants to reach out, and you know, you can get cheeky little discount or whatever, just hit us up. Yeah.
So now, are these actual bungalows that you're building?
Yeah, so they're bungalows. So they're bungalows with a room. So it's like one bungalow has 2 rooms. And it's not self-catering because we're going to be serving food, but they're good size. They have really nice bathrooms. So we wanted to do something just a little bit different because, you know, myself and the other directors, like, we have stayed in quite a few different hotels here, and, you know, we all kind of thought some things were lacking, like whether it was the bathroom and or, you know, whatever. So we just, you know, we all come from an aesthetic where we wanted to have it like a cool Afro chic vibe, you know, but affordable as well. But we want people to come and be comfortable. So, you know, I dabble in interior design here and there. So, you know, I know that you don't have to spend loads of money to make something look nice, but, you know, you just have to be very smart and very, you know, detailed about what you need to do. So yeah, it's been, you know, I haven't got a room to reveal to you yet, but that will come soon. Like I was saying, like in the next week, we'll definitely have rooms ready to show, which we'll send on our social media. And yeah, it's all exciting. It's just like yeah, it's going to be good.
Okay.
They're going
Well,
to be doing
nice.
lots of art everywhere as well. So we're art lovers and we're all creative. So, you know, we're going to be doing a lot of cool African art everywhere. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, you know, now is one of your board members, Mama Sonia? Is she
Actually, no.
affiliated?
Actually,
Affiliated with
no.
y'all?
You know, we love Mama Sonia. You know, she
Yeah.
is our head girl. But actually, no. Like Mama Sonia really did want to get involved, but she is involved in so many things.
She
And
showed me some pictures of what she's got going on as well.
yeah,
And
like
especially with
man,
that bus. That bus
yeah,
there, I was like, whoa, I like that.
yeah. We love Mama Sonia. She's amazing, and but she has pushed me through this. You know, like through all the, you know, the setbacks and stuff. She's been adamant. She got me another director. Joan, who's actually from Tanzania but American, and she's just amazing. We've got a Kenyan, you know, like it's just absolutely amazing. So Mama Sonia has been behind me, pushing me, because one thing she said to me, she was just like, girl, you're not playing, because, you know, I came and I was saying, well, I didn't say, I was just like, I'm gonna do this, and then when I done it, everybody was like, whoa, we've been here like a year more than you, and you've just come in and been like, I'm doing this and this, you know. So, you know, it's just, yeah. So she's always championed me. So yeah, hello Mama Sonia.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Now, I know the one we're gonna get into people asking you some questions here in
Sure.
a second. But I know one of the main questions people ask is like, how do you purchase land? You
You
know?
don't purchase land. So it's a misconception. You could never own land in Zanzibar, because the government own all the land. So, you know, you can lease land, and I think it's like to a maximum of 99 years, and then you can, you know,
Renew it.
we renew it. So when I say purchase land, it's the wrong way to say it. Actually, it's
Yeah.
lease land. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good because I mean, many people are interested in how they can acquire land and start businesses and things like that. So, hopefully, if you all are interested in that journey and wanting to go to Zanzibar, what have you, our sister Laura, she made herself available by you could go to her Facebook tribe bungalows, one tribe, one vibe, or you can go to her Instagram at one tribe bungalows and reach out to her. And also, Laura, the you don't have a YouTube channel, right?
You know
Or
what?
do
I
you
do have a YouTube channel,
have an
and it's always
email
been
account that
something that
maybe?
I wanted to do, but I have not had time. And I know you got to carve out time for that, but no, I don't have a YouTube channel right now. So I
Okay,
just
okay,
want to
just
point out,
asking.
actually, it's not One Tribe Bungalow; it's One Tribe Zanzibar. Just so, yeah, so it's One Tribe
Okay,
Zanzibar.
well, let's get into the questions. For those out there who wants to ask her some questions, I see one question already. It's supposed to be at me, but you know, a person is asking, how is this going to benefit the local people in their economy, no matter how small it is? I guess they're referring to projects like yours.
Well, the thing is, we employ local people. So, one of the things that we do, we pretty much all our staff are local, and not just local, but from the local area. And I never like going public with these things, but personally, the company will be providing for a local school. We already have been raising money for a school which is in Nungwi, which is actually another area, because that was one of the first places I connected to. So yeah, it does benefit the local people, because we employ people. The art that we have is from locals. The sheets that we get made are from locals. Everything within here, the people that are building
The builders are
all of
promoting
are
this.
local. The chief builder is local. So everybody benefits. And I think, like, you've got to be a conscious business owner. So if you're making loads of profit, and you're not putting it back in the community, you have to live with that. But there are many people here that do that. So we're about community here. So it's not just, it's our business, we're going to make all this money and sit on the beach drinking cocktails. There's a lot of responsibility here. There's a lot to be done here. There's beach cleanups going on. There's empowerment of women going on. There's lots of groups and things here for locals. So you choose as a business owner what you want to get involved in. So we are going to be involved heavily in the local community. And plus, our business plan doesn't get approved if you don't set out the things that you're going to do for community. That's one of the things that set us aside from lots of other people that didn't get forward. So yeah.
Somebody was asking, I guess they came in late, were you Nigerian British mixed?
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I'm my mum's English, my dad's Nigerian. I was born and raised in London, and I've traveled pretty much everywhere since the age of 10. So I've been all over the world. Yeah.
Somebody's asking, do your travels, have you traveled to any regions in mainland Tanzania yet?
Right, so I've been to Dar es Salaam, but very shortly I'm going to be going to Arusha. So I'm going to be doing the whole mainland thing, and I cannot wait, because I've really just wanted to go into the green side of things. And I've been to Dar a couple of times, and it's full on. It's great, but I don't think I could live there. Maybe on the outskirts, but yeah, I want to explore mainland Tanzania a lot more. Definitely this year I'll be doing all of that.
Okay, great. Are you accepting any investors? Somebody's asking. Cloud Nation.
Well, we have future projects. So yeah, get in touch. What can I say? There's a lot going on. So this is just one project. We have other projects lined up. Not off the ground yet, but we're building a collective, and people are welcome. So yeah, get in touch.
How's the school systems? Do you know anything about the school system?
Well, I don't have children that go to school here, so I can't really answer that. But as far as I know, they, like, the local school systems, uh, compared to the international schools. So if you're talking about international schools, yes, there's those everywhere. Dealing with the local schools here, they are usually, not all. So I don't want to like spread, something about everywhere, but certainly like the one that we've been dealing with in Nungwi, there's like over 2,000 children in the one school. We've helped them put in a water pipe to run water to the school because they were running without water. And just these little things make such a huge difference. It costs us very small amount of money, compared to the value that it can give. So they need pens, they need supplies, but there's very good schools here. I see the kids here happy coming from school. They're going to school. People are dressed in their uniforms, and it's good. But I can't give a detailed feedback on how the school systems are.
That's fully. All right. That's all right.
Yeah.
Some people are coming in probably a little later, but yeah, she has been to Nigeria, visited, and you said you lived in Nigeria, right?
Yeah, I lived in Nigeria. I went to school in Lagos for a couple of years from when I was like around 12. I went to Queen's College, so that was a good school to go to. I've been to Nigeria several times, multiple times. So, yeah.
Great. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm still trying to go through this. If you see some questions on there, you're more than welcome to answer some. Read them though. I would recommend read them before you say it out loud, because sometimes you have people might ask some silly questions. Let's see here, and I'm trying to share the wealth. I know I've asked some from other people, so I'm trying to get to other people's questions too. There's some that are asking a little bit more questions. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, see, there's some people coming in. Somebody wants to know about doing business what is your experience in doing business in Zanzibar? I mean, how complicated is it? I mean, getting business license and all that right there. What is your experience?
Yeah, so I mean, look, it's not easy. You have to really do your due diligence, and I've learned the hard way, in the sense that you get told you can do it this way, but actually this is the way to do it. So I would say you need to really get a recommendation from somebody who already lives here, because you don't necessarily need a lawyer to do the processes. So you have to, there's lots of processes. So you have to have a TIN number. You have to set up the register the business. You have to get the certificate of incorporation. You have to get the shares. There's all these different things that you have to do, and then when you've done that, then you have to go back, and then you have to get the business license. There's lots of different licenses you need to apply for. Setting up a business in Zanzibar is not easy and it's not cheap, but it's doable if so there are you really have to kind of go with somebody who knows. Like, for example, if anybody wants to ask me who I used, I can let but yeah, it's a process, but it takes time. It's a process like anything, and you have to give yourself time. Like, sometimes the license that you're applying for, it might take 4 weeks before you get that back. So, things like that I've learned going along. Like when I was thinking, well, we're going to be open in 3 months time. It's like, no, you're not. So, you just have to really be clear on what needs to be done, and also cut out as many middlemen as you can, because really you can a lot of the time just go directly and do these things where people say, I can do it for you. It's going to cost this, it's going to cost that. Well, actually, a lot of these things you can do online, and a lot of these things you can do directly yourself. So yeah, but like I said, I came blind. I asked a lot of people. I got given lots of information. Sometimes it's information overload. You learn the hard way. In the end, I'm like, okay, now I know exactly what I'm doing, Some
people want to know about rent. 1 bedrooms, maybe 2 bedrooms. How much is rent there in Zanzibar?
It really just depends where you are. So I guess like in somewhere like Fumba Town, it can be anything from $300 to $500, maybe, but I lived in a 3-bedroom, a little bungalow, and I was paying $450 a month, but I'm on East Coast now, which is a lot more desirable. So, but again, what standard do you want? These were new builds. Over here you have local houses that you can get for $200 for a 1-bedroom if you want, but you're going to have to do some work. If you want, a 3-bedroom villa with a sea view, you're going to pay $1,500, maybe $2,500. It all depends what you want and where it is.
Okay. The next question is, and we have 5 more minutes, Laura. So that'd be 1 hour. As promised, not to take up so much of your time. Appreciate you coming in, sharing your experience, leaving out of the
Thank
UK,
you. It's
coming
been
to Africa. Somebody
well.
was
I only knew you were going live 5 minutes before, so I was like,
yeah.
Going live, okay. So yeah, I hope I've done my,
Oh, you have. You've done great. You've done great. Are you learning Kiswahili?
I am, yes. And I should have started months ago. I would have learned already. It's such a beautiful language, and it's very, it's very straight. So the little bits that I'm learning is coming. I'm still really on like Mambo VP, Mambo Power. I'm getting there. So just talk to me again in 6 months' time, and I'll be fluent.
Well, good. Okay. Some of you all are asking questions. I'm quite sure y'all coming in a little later. Please go back and watch the video. She's answered a lot of these questions in this interview, has done a great job sharing her experience in the UK, as well as sharing her new life there in Tanzania, that she's been there 7 months doing business. And please go check out her projects that she's got going on. Tribe Bungalows, One Tribe, One Vibe. And let's see, we're going to entertain 1 or 2 more questions before we go, Laura. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
How is the internet service there? Well, we've been on right now for almost an hour, so it's not too bad. Huh?
To be honest, like I personally have had a really good experience with the internet. So in Fumba Town, it's good. Where I am now, it's good. I have like a D-Link type thing, and I have a backup little router. Some places on the beach, not good. It depends what company you are, what area you are in. So some places on the East Coast, some companies on the East Coast work better, and then some companies on the West Coast work better. In Stone Town, it's going to probably be more stable, but it's expensive here. So it is, you have to spend money to get a stable connection, and if you don't have a generator, you're going to be eligible, or there could be a power cut. And so if you want like Zoom meetings, unless you go somewhere that has stable connection, you can't. But so then come to Tribe, basically, because we will have high speed internet, and we've got that covered.
What do you do about the situation about visa renewals? Somebody was asking. That's 90 days.
Yeah. So look, you can come on a tourist visa. I came here on a business visa. Because that was my intention. And then, you can renew the business visa, and then you have to apply for residency. It's expensive, the residency. I think it's like $3,500, but that's the process. You can come, on a 3-month tourist visa. You can leave, visit, and travel somewhere else. You can come back. I don't know how many times you can do that, because I did not do it that way. I've done it on the business visa route. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So again, the local government here, their websites are actually really informative. So I just guys, just Google and find out that information. It's all out there if you want it.
Also, too, if for those, one other way you can get a residence visa, is, and that's a 2-year visa, is if you purchase property.
Correct, actually.
Investment property in these certain sites that.
Yes, that's in the economic free zone. So when you purchase, right. So when you purchase property here, I think it's over
$100,000 or more.
Or more, then you get a residence permit.
Or
in that.
Or if they equal more than, so you could buy maybe 4 units, 2 units, whatever it might be, loans as
so as it adds up, yeah. And I mean, that's a great way if you're an investor, to come and do that, because otherwise, it is expensive. But yeah.
Okay.
And I can see Jones saying, tell us about Zanzibar. So Zanzibar's magical, it's a beautiful island full of beautiful people. If you haven't been here, you should come here. There's lots of culture here. So, as you know, it's like 98% Muslim here, but it's very, safe here. Everybody mingles with everybody. It's just a beautiful, stunning island, So if you're ever thinking of coming here, just drop me a line and I will make sure you have a fabulous time here. But yeah, Zanzibar's the best.
Let me add to that too as well, so that people can get an understanding. Because I purchased two properties there in Zanzibar, so
Yeah,
I'm kind of trying to stay up on par too, like yourself, on what's going on. You there, right there on the ground. But Zanzibar is a very interesting island off of the mainland, and
yeah,
what they are doing, because it is a huge tourist area, that they are wanting to build the island in itself, almost like how we see Dubai.
yeah,
We're going to be building the second largest skyscraper in Africa, that they've already got approved. They have projects that are going around the island, like Laura was saying, that hey, property is not going to stay the same. Costs do go up. It has beautiful beaches, the
yeah,
clear bluish greenish water that you've ever seen. And you got the east of the island, the west of the island, the north, the south. It just so happens that the two properties that I bought, one is Fuma Town that she spoke of. I've done videos on that, as well as I also have on the east of the island, which is Seoul, a
yeah,
project. Well, that you all, if y'all interested in trying to purchase any properties out there, send me an email at
yeah.
go black to Africa at gmail.com. But there are
Also,
projects after projects that are going on that
yeah,
I,
but also there's a lot of infrastructure happening as well now. So, there's a
yes,
new airport, they're doing more roads, they're doing
the
all the
ports.
underwater electricities, they're doing more cable. Like, there's a lot going on. Like, there's a lot of money being invested in Zanzibar by Zanzibar. So yeah, I just feel like it's gonna change in the years, but that's that, as long as, like someone said, the local people benefit from that, then that's a good thing.
And they have a project, they're having projects to include the locals into affordable housing, so that they're
Yeah.
not left out and just investors come in and take up everything. So I really love that. And so there's projects that are going on that island there. You got the
Yes.
historical Stone Town, that for you all, look it up, Stone Town. So there's many things that you can do. And then they got every hour, I think, the boats going to the mainland, that you can go to Dar es
And the
Salaam.
many other islands, there's sandbanks in the middle of the sea, there's other islands around, it's just stunning. But yeah, you can get to the mainland, like I think it's every half an hour or maybe every hour
It
actually.
might be every half an hour. It could be, yeah.
Yeah, like, so yeah, it's accessible. But Zanzibar is changing. There's a lot of people, that love it for the beauty. A lot of people come here with not the good intentions. We have to be honest. Like they
Yeah.
just, I call it the smash and grab business people. They're all about just coming here, setting up something, make money. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's their intention. But some of us here, we're all about the community and building for the future for our, children. We have African children, and we're trying to build something, and we're trying to, get the community involved and try to build long lasting relationships. So it's very important for us to do that. We're Africans. So yeah.
Last question.
Yes.
Is it safe there in Zanzibar?
So
Crime?
yeah, like look, crime happens everywhere, right? So yes, you hear stories of people's being broken into or whatever, but it happens everywhere. But me personally, I have never had a problem, and I feel great. Like look, we were talking about Nigeria earlier. I can't. My dad would probably still beat me if I tried to get into a car and drive across, Lagos after 11 o'clock at night. But here you don't. That it was one of the things, you can drive at any time. You know you can walk out on the street, you can walk in Stone Town with your camera, no one's going to snatch it out your hand. It's safe. There's going to be isolated incidents, as there is anywhere in the world, but for me, Zanzibar is safe, 100%.
Yeah, it's safe, and what I like about it is that the locals understand. If you start messing with the so-called tourists who come in, you're actually stealing money out of your own pocket, because
Yeah,
then the reputation gets out there and people won't come visit. And even the government, is hard on anyone who is stealing and trying to take advantage of those,
yeah.
because they heavily rely on
Well,
tourism.
yeah, well, they've just launched, like, there's the tourist police now. So they have like a special section that are on some beaches where you can call if there's any incidents, and they walk up, along the beaches and whatever. It's had mixed reviews. Some
Yeah.
people think it's great, some people don't. But yeah, they're trying. For me, that's just trying to, if there's a problem, or people have said this issue about people on the beach, then okay, then they're doing something about it, because they want people to come here, they don't want people put off. But I do think, like, I just believe there's crime everywhere,
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
probably gonna more likely be mugged walking down the road in London than been doing so here,
Yeah.
walking at
Yeah.
night,
Oh, I
so
know for a fact.
yeah.
You in America. Oh, being black, whether getting
Yeah,
by
it
your
doesn't save you. Yeah,
sentencing you or the police or whatever, the crime is crazy. It's crazy. But
yeah.
anyway,
Anyway, we have to
we're
end
coming
on
to
a
an
positive
end.
note.
Laura, do you have any final words for the people, on those who might be thinking of coming to visit Zanzibar, or even come live or to visit Africa, period? You, as a single woman who came over to the motherland that is living there, what words do you have for those people out there who is teeter-tottering on that?
If your gut is telling you to go to Africa, go. Like, just go and visit. There's so many countries within Africa. Each country has its own way of doing things. You will find somewhere that you fit in. You may go to one place and that's not for you, but you may go to somewhere else and you're like, wow, this is it. So give Africa a chance. Just go back and visit. There's so many beautiful places here, and I haven't even touched half. So just go with your vibe. Just come back to Africa, really. Like, we need you here. Just come back. It's amazing. And come and visit Zanzibar. Come to Tribe. Get in touch.
Awesome. Awesome. So we thank our guest here, Laura, for giving us her share of experience there in Zanzibar, and her life experience, being part Nigerian, her father and living in Nigeria, and her mother who is English, and
Yes.
that she's biracial. And, you know, um, I wanted to pick her brain on the heartbeat of the UK, what was pushing her to come to Africa to revisit and live. And, you shared us a wealth of knowledge, and thank you for all the information. And
Thanks
we
for having
wish
me.
you the best, sister, in your endeavors.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been amazing. Thank you.
Well, family, this is it right here. This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa. All right, we are out. You can sit tight, Laura, for one quick minute.